Welcome, creator! This series is your guided introduction to UnrealEditor for Fortnite, with plenty of tips to help you start building with confidence. We'll walk you through the basics to get a feel for the editor. We'll get it running, set up a new project, and go through the core tools. Then it's straight into the action: building, placing assets, shaping landscapes, modeling props, and bringing your world together with materials, lighting, and post-processing effects. You'll also get a quick overview of Sequencer, a powerful tool for crafting cinematic moments and gameplay sequences. Plus, a look at skeletal animations to help push your projects even further. If you're already familiar with UEFN, feel free to jump around and explore specific topics or use the videos as a refresher. Otherwise, let's begin with the first video, the editor.
After you install and launch UEFN, you'll see the project browser. This is where you can create new projects or open existing ones. If you've ever used Fortnite Creative, you may find there are already some projects here, like these. Islands made in Fortnite Creative can be selected in UEFN and converted into a UEFN project. But going forward, you can only edit your island in UEFN. At the top of the My Projects view is a drop-down for creator teams, which can be created, joined, or maintained in the Creator portal. Teams let you share projects between members, letting you work together using Unreal Revision Control to keep in sync. After you install and launch UEFN, you'll see the project browser. This is where you can create new projects or open existing ones. If you've ever used Fortnite Creative, you may find there are already some projects here, like these. Islands made in Fortnite Creative can be selected in UEFN and converted into a UEFN project. But going forward, you can only edit your island in UEFN. At the top of the My Projects view is a drop-down for creator teams, which can be created, joined, or maintained in the Creator portal. Teams let you share projects between members, letting you work together using Unreal Revision Control to keep in sync. In addition to the My Projects section, there are quick shortcuts to documentation and community support at the top. Below My Projects are island templates, which provide a great starting point for your island. The blank template is a UEFN exclusive template, while the other islands, like Archipelago, are from Fortnite Creative. Next are feature examples, which are projects that showcase a specific mechanic or function of UEFN. You'll see the project browser. This is where you can create new projects or open existing ones. If you've ever used Fortnite Creative, you may find there are already some projects here, like these. Islands made in Fortnite Creative can be selected in UEFN and converted into a UEFN project. But going forward, you can only edit your island in UEFN. At the top of the My Projects view is a drop-down for creator teams, which can be created, joined, or maintained in the Creator portal. Teams let you share projects between members, letting you work together using Unreal Revision Control to keep in sync. In addition to the My Projects section, there are quick shortcuts to documentation and community support at the top. Below My Projects are island templates, which provide a great starting point for your island. The blank template is a UEFN exclusive template, while the other islands, like Archipelago, are from Fortnite Creative. Next are feature examples, which are projects that showcase a specific mechanic or function of UEFN, like different verse examples and animation. Each feature example has billboards throughout the island with instructions on how to recreate the features, and also have documentation links to follow along. These examples are a great way to learn features of UEFN. Finally, are sample projects. Here are completed island experiences that also contain billboards explaining how everything works and have documentation. These sample projects differ from feature examples in scope, as they are completed and polished experiences you can play. All of the templates, examples, and projects may be updated, with more being added as time goes on. To make your first project, head to the Island Templates section and choose the blank template. At the bottom of the screen, you can change the project location if you want, and change the name. Let's call this My First Hour, then click Create. After a bit of time, the editor should open. If this is the first time you've opened UEFN, you should see the default layout of the editor like what's on screen. If at any time something happens, like you close a panel or move something, you can click the window menu at the top and load the default layout to follow along again. Now let's go over the basic parts of the editor. Starting with the top row of options, the File tab is where you'll save and load projects, and the Edit tab is where you can change the preferences and undo or redo any changes. The Window tab can be used to save and load different layouts or open any windows that are needed. The Tools tab has revision control settings, and the Verse tab is where you build any verse code you've written or open Visual Studio Code. The Build tab may be needed for landscaping. The Select tab lets you quickly select all of a certain type of prop, and the Help tab has quick access to documentation. Generally, you won't need to access these menus often outside of adjusting windows or building verse code. Under this is the toolbar, where a lot of important shortcuts are. You have quick access to the Save button in the top left, as well as a way to open the content browser and select the current level. Then there's a drop-down to select the editor mode. You'll probably spend most of your time in selection mode, but landscaping, foliage, modeling, and animation modes have their own tools associated with them that you'll learn about later in the course. The project drop-down is for managing certain project information, like uploading the island to a private version. The Create menu lets you place actors quickly, like lights or basic shapes. The Fab button can be clicked to open Fab, where you can find assets to use in a project. The Verse button will open the current project in Visual Studio Code, and the Launch Session button will open Fortnite and connect it to your UEFN project, letting you playtest your game or live edit, which you'll learn about soon. The three dots lets you change certain settings, like auto-starting the game. The session information is displayed next, and while in a session, you can start or stop the game from the editor. Finally, if you are connected to a team, you can find that information here, and under Settings, you'll find a few key settings like Scalability. Lowering this is a good idea if the computer is having trouble running the project. Below the toolbar is the viewport, where you can see the world. To move around, hold the right mouse button while over the viewport, and use the WASD keys to move. You can move your mouse while holding down the right mouse button to move the camera, and use the E and Q keys to move up or down. Holding the left mouse button keeps the camera fixed vertically, but allows for movement in panning left or right. These are the fundamental controls for movement while in the viewport that you'll need to be comfortable with, so feel free to move around the world and get used to the controls. At the top of the viewport, you'll find a toolbar with access to important shortcuts. The Menu button on the top left contains various settings, and the Next button lets you change the view of the viewport. Right now, we are in what's called a perspective view, but you may find it useful to instead use an orthographic view, like a right view. Next is a menu of view modes. Lit is the normal view, but it can be very useful to place props and see your world in an unlit manner, or see wireframes and other modes. Next is a menu of flags that let you show or hide different properties or widgets, like seeing the collisions of different props. Time of day lets you adjust the current time of day in the viewport, assuming you are using the Fortnite Time of Day Manager that is enabled by default. On the right, you can see the project size, and then you have the different ways to interact with the different assets in your world. First is the Selection tool, which simply lets you click on assets and select them. Then you have the Translate tool, which lets you move assets around the world. The Rotation tool lets you rotate assets, and the Scale tool lets you increase or decrease the size of an asset. You can activate these tools by pressing keyboard shortcuts Q for the Selection tool, W for the Translate tool, E for Rotation, and R for Scaling. Or if you have one of the tools enabled, you can use the spacebar to switch between the three tools. Next to these is a button that lets you change the coordinate system between world and local space. This lets you manipulate props based on their local position or the world grid in your project. Next is surface snapping, which lets you snap objects to surfaces while dragging them around. This grid pattern you see is controlled by this Snap to Grid menu, where you can enable or disable it and change the grid size. Lower values create a small grid, letting you smoothly move props and snap them, while larger grid sizes snap props further from each other on a larger grid. Turning this setting off disables snapping, letting you manually move the prop where you'd like. The same is true for rotation snapping, but instead of a grid size, it snaps based on degrees of rotation, like 90 for smooth rotating of objects in 90-degree increments. And the same is true for scale snapping. Next, you can change the camera speed, which lets you go faster or slower while navigating the viewport. You can also adjust this on the fly using your mouse wheel. Finally, you have a toggle for the 4 viewport views. This opens 4 different viewports that you can adjust individually. Maybe you want one view for wireframes, or another from the top down. You can maximize an individual viewport by clicking the Maximize button on the top right. Moving on from the viewport, you can see the outliner in the top right of the screen. The outliner shows all of the items that are inside of the world. For example, you can see I have 4 grid planes, island settings, 2 spawn pads, level bounds, and world items. If I was to add something new from the Create menu, like a point light, you can now see it in the outliner. Selecting the point light in the viewport or from the outliner will display its settings and information in the Details window. This is where you can change things such as the light color and intensity of the light, or other details about an item. If you open the World settings from the window menu at the top, you can adjust the individual settings for the map you're currently on. This is where you can disable the Time of Day Manager if you'd like. Our last item is our Content Browser, which you actually can't see. You can click the Content Drawer button in the bottom left or hold Control and click the spacebar to open and close it. This is where all of the assets for our project and potential assets we can use live. Take a look inside of the My First Hour content folder, where you can see our map and our game feature data. The Fortnite folder contains many different props, devices, and other items from Fortnite that you can use in your project. The Epic folder has different materials and textures you might also find useful. You can dock the content drawer to make it a panel like the outliner, and in the window menu you can open up to 4 content browsers in case you need to have different folders open at the same time. One thing to note for all of these panels is you can adjust their size by clicking and dragging on their borders, or take the panel itself and place it somewhere else. Remember, if you ever want to go back to the default layout, you can do it in the window menu. With all of that information, you should have a good understanding of how to navigate around the editor. In this next lesson, you'll learn how to import assets and work with content in the editor. As mentioned in the last lesson, the content browser is the first stop in working with content in UEFN. On the left side of the content browser is the folder view, which shows all of the items inside of the project. Any content you add for a project will go into its content folder. The Fortnite and Epic folder have pre-existing assets to use, like textures, materials, creative devices, props, and more. Head into the Fortnite folder and open the galleries. These have props that fit a theme in them for your use in your project. You can pick a gallery by holding left-click while over it, then move your mouse around the viewport to drag it around your world. Let go of left-click to place it. If you wanted to delete some items from the gallery, you can do it one at a time by selecting an item and clicking the Delete key. You can select multiple items at a time by holding the Control key and selecting them in the viewport, or Control and Alt to make a box around the items you want to select. If you select anything extra, like this ground tile, you can hold Control and click it to deselect the item. The outliner can be used to select or deselect items in the same way. also have documentation links to follow along. These examples are a great way to learn features of UEFN. Finally, our
where we are making games inside of Fortnite. Probably our most well-known game is Super Pet World, and I'm just really excited to be here and to be showcasing games. My background is in AA and AAA, so before this I was at Hi-Res Studios, where I helped us navigate free-to-play on PC and consoles, and then I ran my own anime game studio for a little while, and somehow before that I was also a lawyer at Foley and Lardner and Big Law.
Prepared you for everything you did after that, I'm sure. Awesome. Well, we're so glad to have you on. This is going to be super fun. And next, we have Magnus. How you doing, Magnus?
What's up? Yeah, hello. I'm the verse evangelist at Epic. I'm super excited to be here to try some games.
Yeah, we threw you into the deep end with your first live stream being scripting live, and then your second one we actually decided to kind of ease you in a little bit. So,
yeah.
Well, welcome in. This is going to be super fun. And last, but of course not least, we have Josh. How you doing, Josh?
What up, guys? How's it going? Doing good. Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Josh. I am a evangelist for UEFN, and you might recognize me because I'm on the channel a lot. We do live streams where it's normally a little more technical than this, so I'm excited to just chill, play games.
Yeah, this one is going to be a very relaxed stream, folks. We are just going to jump into some of these awesome featured Fortnite experiences and just kind of play them and have a good time, kind of celebrate the community, celebrate the games, and just enjoy. You know, what we do around here a lot, as Josh said, is very technical stuff. So we're going to mix it up a little bit and just kind of have a fun stream for today, you know, focused on just the pure fun of it all. So yeah, it's going to be super fun. So how this is going to go is Brian has graciously agreed to be the pilot for the live stream portion of this game for the screen share, but I believe that Magnus and Josh will be joining along with a few of these games in the background, so they'll also be playing and participating with that. So, I mean, folks, we got a lot of games to get through. How do you say we just kind of jump in? Get in
Yes.
here.
Yeah. Yes. I'm
Perfect.
so excited for every single one of these games, and I'm really excited for this first one because we have a soft goal for somebody to be the last person standing on our team in a good movie.
Absolutely. So I'll go ahead and throw up the screen share then.
Cool.
And then I'm going to do my very
I'm
best
so
to balance the
excited
audio, folks, for you in the viewing audience.
Tools.
But if you hear anything too loud, too quiet, any sort of thing like that, please let us know in chat and we will tweak it. But hopefully we get a good balance out the gate.
So do we want to give people like the chance
Like seeing the
to
collisions of
like a
different
30-second
particles.
chance to launch
You can dock the content.
Fortnite and try and queue into us for this one?
Sure, yeah. Do you want to tell folks what we're going to be playing first?
So we're going to start with Genesis Squid Game, which is an incredible game. I don't know how many people have actually played this. I wonder if I can pull up here, since I have them selected, if I can pull up their info. Here we go.
I will also throw the islands into the chat too, so you folks can find it very easily there.
So I love this game, and one of the reasons why this game is a high pick for me, besides Genesis Studios just kicking a lot of butt out there, is that it is a very authentic integration with the Squid Game IP. Like when you think about like, if I was to play Squid Game inside of Fortnite, what would that be like? Or if I was to play it even just standalone, right? If it was just a game that existed on its own, what would that be like? I feel like they knocked it out of the park. The cinematics are awesome. The gameplay is awesome. It is varied mini games. You can see from the trailer, like this game just checks every single box for me. And there's not a lot of games out there where you can put 40 people into a lobby and it like is stable, it's fun, it's performant. This game just crushes. Just a super favorite of mine. I don't know how you guys feel. I'm like big fan here.
Oh, it's great. It feels like you're in the show, which is what you want.
Yeah, right. Like full immersion, right?
Yeah.
Should we do it? Should we just queue? Have we given enough time?
Let's do it.
I'm so scared that I'm gonna just get knocked out every like green light, dude. Please no. All right, I'm readied up. Let's go in.
I believe that you guys can one of you can make it to the end. I believe.
I feel I will make it halfway. That's my prediction. If I make it halfway, I am happy with myself. And if I don't see that guy carrying them in the red light, green light, please do that for me. Like, but don't do it in the way where you can eliminate me. There's like strategy to this, right? Like you can pick somebody up who's down, throw them, and like permanently limb them and start them at the back. Don't do that to me. Carry me across like a true friend should. Oh yeah, look at this. This game's gonna fill. I feel it.
Oh yeah.
You know, one of the things I really like also about this game, I didn't know. For those who, I have to wait till it loads in, but for those who have played before, there's a nice like cosmetic loop here that's totally free. You don't need to spend V-Bucks on it. You can just play the game, and as you win game, collect currency and then go in and buy these different masks. So I have a mask, depending on the skin you have.
The elites are always watching. All eyes on you. Fight well. This is your chance to prove your...
Whoa.
Elite play.
Oh, fuck. Shit.
Show me your best next time.
Holy shit.
Now that is elite. Time for a little payback, don't you think?
No!
There's the elites, and then there's everybody else. Effortless, as it should be. That one didn't count.
Yes!
Enjoy your winning streak. Victory number 3. Huh. Flawless. Don't break the streak.
What the hell? Yes.
They crumbled. You make it look simple. A misstep. Corrected.
Trời ơi.
Yes.
Total domination.
Yes.
Another win.
What's up, Doc?
Number 3.